Who would have known we would have a Vegas Golden Knights versus Washington Capitals Stanley Cup final? But it happened. And in today's video, I'll be explaining the 5 X factors for this Stanley Cup final. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. The 5th X factor I do have is going to be James Neal. And the reason why I have James Neal on the X factor is because last year, James Neal was a part of the National Predator Stanley Cup final run. And, you know, he has the experience, but he also knows what it's like to lose. He's won a Stanley Cup before. He knows how to win and lose. And to me, after losing last year in the final, it's really going to motivate James Neal to just go even more ham this year and try to get that Stanley Cup that he missed last year. James Neal, this playoffs, is having a pretty good damn playoffs. He's a really good player for this Vegas Golden Knights team. You know, he's definitely a reliable player for Gerard Gallant, who's been such a good coach. Neal in this playoffs, his playoff stats are: in 15 games, James Neal is producing about 9 points, 4 goals and 5 assists. He's a +3 man. And it doesn't really even matter about James Neal's points, but he's been a really big, you know, important piece of this Vegas Golden Knights team because he brings in that experience that the Golden Knights lack. He has that experience, and, you know, James Neal, he needs to continue that. Well, last year, James Neal, he was not, you know, James Neal last year in the Stanley Cup final against the Penguins, he wasn't himself. And really, you know, he lost last year, so it's really going to motivate him to try to do better, try to win this year. I feel like Neal is going to play, you know, really well. And plus, he's a really physical guy. He's, you know, just one of my favorite players to watch because he brings it every night. Like, he's a guy who's competitive, and yeah, so I feel like he's going to be really competitive. He's going to be a big X factor for this Vegas Golden Knights team because he is the most experienced alongside Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, Neal's been with the Penguins, Stanley Cup runs, and Nationals last year, so he's definitely really experienced. In my opinion, I definitely think James Neal is going to be a huge X factor for this team. Our next X factor is going to be Braden Holtby. And Braden Holtby, you know, he's not doing the best. Obviously, you know, this in the beginning of the playoffs, Braden Holtby was not. He was actually the backup goalie to I don't even know what his name is. I know his name, but I can't pronounce it. But after that, I think Washington was down 2-0. Then he started playing goalie, and ever since, Washington's never changed their mind. But Braden Holtby, in this year's playoffs, he has 12 wins, 6 losses, in 18 games played. He has a .924 save percentage. He has 2 shutouts, which is pretty damn good. Braden Holtby's been amazing, especially against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He had back-to-back shutouts, but in my opinion, Braden Holtby hasn't been the Braden Holtby we've seen in the last 2 years. He's not been that Braden Holtby. This year, I feel like, you know, he's not always been the best, but like in sometimes he's shined. Like especially in that Game 7 Tampa Bay series, he's been pretty damn good. But I watched the games. I think Braden Holtby did get a bit lucky. I felt like Tampa Bay had some really good chances, and I just felt like Braden Holtby did get a bit lucky. But he's got to play amazing. He's got to play like his Vezina Braden Holtby, because if he can't, then Washington has no chances of winning. He needs to play extraordinarily well, because all the teams that versed the Vegas Golden Knights, you know, Vegas, they've been through some hella good. They've been through Jonathan Quick, you know, they've been to Martin Jones, they've been to Hellebuck. And they've been through a lot of good goalies, and Braden Holtby needs to be solid. I mean, he has all the things to be solid. I mean, his goals against this playoffs is not the best. It's 2.04, which is not the best. You know, previous years he's had like 194 goals against in the playoffs. This year is not the best, but I definitely think if Braden Holtby can just stay strong in the crease, he's definitely going to be a huge X factor. And if Washington really needs to win, it's got to be Braden Holtby. It's got to be Holtby, Ovechkin. It's going to be these guys that need to be X factors for the Washington Capitals, in my opinion, if they want to win this series. I feel like that's going to be a big, huge bonus for them. Next up, our next X factor is going to be Jonathan Marchessault. Now, the reason why I'm Jonathan Marchessault and not William Karlsson is Marchessault has been, you know, the goal scorer. I mean, that first line with Marchessault, Karlsson, and Smith has been crazy. This playoffs in 15 games, he's got 18 points, 8 goals, 10 assists, and he's been so damn well this postseason for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's been a star. He was a 30 goal scorer last year. This year he put up 27 goals. He's been amazing, and in these playoffs he's always found a way. I mean, against the Winnipeg Jets, he scored some really clutch goals. You know, against San Jose, you know, even LA. This kid, you know, he's 27 years old. He's a great player, in my opinion. I mean, he can definitely perform. And man, Florida Panthers, they kind of made a huge mistake. Everyone thought it was a, you know, lucky year last year for him. Well, it wasn't. He's playing like an elite player, and he's playing like a star, and he's going to be a huge X factor for this Vegas Golden Knights team if they want to, you know, go on. I mean, he's hungry. Trust me, he is very hungry. You know, if he doesn't have a Stanley Cup, but again, he's a good player alongside Willie Carson and Riley Smith. That's a crazy line right there. Our second X Factor is Alexander Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin is our second X. You could even put him on number 1. Ovechkin this playoffs has 22 points, 12 goals, 10 assists, in 19 games played. The man is a legit legend. There's no doubt Alex Ovechkin is the best goal scorer in the NHL. He is the best. But the thing is, this man, you can't really compare him to Wayne Gretzky and all those greats because he hasn't won the Stanley Cup. This is his first time being in the Stanley Cup Finals, and to me, this is his only chance to win that cup. If he loses this year, I don't think he's ever, unless he gets traded to a good team, don't think he's ever going to get a good chance to win the Stanley Cup. The reason is, he's 32 years old. Really, this is the only team he has. But man, you know, he's always known to be a playoff choker, and I don't really agree with that statement. I feel like, you know, he's choked in the playoffs, but this year he's been amazing, especially Game 7, scoring that first goal. He's definitely been what the Washington Capitals need, and I really like his, you know, his commitment to the game. And I definitely think he's going to be a huge X factor. He doesn't have a Stanley Cup. He's hungry. You know, he's been criticized. Alex Ovechkin has been criticized so much. You know, everyone's saying, is he really a good player? He's been criticized so much. And really, he's been, like, putting all that anger into this playoffs, trying to show the world. He finally beat the Penguins, and then he beat the stacked Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, he's not done yet. He's hungry. Ovechkin's hungry for that Stanley Cup. And last but not least, our last X Factor is going to be Marc-Andre Fleury. Now, you could put Marc-Andre Fleury second and put Ovechkin first, but I have Fleury first because Fleury has been the backbone of the Vegas Golden Knights. Believe it or not, this Marc-Andre Fleury right now is the best goalie in the NHL. He is the best right now, and he's 33 years old. It's kind of funny because he was a backup goalie last year in Pittsburgh to Matt Murray, and he's won 3 cups, won 2 straight. This is his 4th Stanley Cup final. This Stanley Cup final, he has 12 wins, 3 losses, 947 save percentage, 168 goals against. That is Conn Smythe numbers right there. That is Conn Smythe numbers for a player like him. To me, he is the backbone of this team. He carried the Golden Knights against San Jose. He's been legit the backbone. Even in Winnipeg, he's made some clutch saves, and Fleury has been the backbone of this team. And, you know, it's nothing you can say. Look at his numbers. He's really been carrying this team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Please drop a like, subscribe, try you guys do, and catch you guys in the next video. And I got Washington winning in 6 games. I don't know who's gonna win this series. I can see Vegas in 6 or Washington in 6, but I'm gonna go with Capitals in 6 because Ovechkin is just hungry. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.